Welcome to the 2-Act Podcast. I'm gothjon, as always, with my other co-host, Adi. Today, we are going to review the second season of Fallout. Spoilers. And a reminder, we did cover the first season. Go check it out. So, I have a little intro written. First, we start right off where season 1 ended. Lucy and the Ghoul are heading to Vegas. This season of Fallout, we get a lot of our questions answered, but we still have more questions. More Fallout, this time it's in Vegas. Are we going to see the legendary Deathclaw fight? Will we see Cazadors? Adi's like, what the fuck is a Cazador? How the hell are we going to revive Robert House after we killed him as a courier in Fallout New Vegas? Well, Adi, what were your first impressions of Fallout Season 2?
I enjoyed returning to the world of Fallout. I think, man, that was like the very first episode we ever did on this podcast. So, I think it's a testament that we're still here. But I think like as video game adaptations go, still up there, as one of the better works to be translated from game to story. And yeah, no, I was really looking forward to it. And I liked the first season. I think we both liked the first season. I like the world building. There's a lot of the lore that I like. I've never played the game still, admittingly, but that's fine. I enjoy watching it equally. And yeah, I had a lot of expectations for season 2. And we'll talk about it, but it was fun to return. My initial impressions were like, yeah, it's nice to be back in the world of Fallout. And I heard a lot about the hype about Vegas, New Vegas. So I was very eager to see what's going to happen, and what our heroes are going to uncover. So yeah, those were my impressions before we dig deep into spoilers.
Yeah, my first impressions were just my nitpicks of the last season. I was like, is the writing gonna stay the same? Are we gonna have multiple different like groups we're following and all that? Yes, we do, but that's discussion for a little bit later. But yeah. I've watched this twice. Initially when it was coming out, which I don't necessarily know if that makes the show more popular or anything. Unless they should just drop it all at the same time.
We should talk about that, right? Because it's interesting that they decided to do that. I was surprised that they wanted to stagger the release, like almost like an old school TV show, week by week, instead of just dropping it all at once.
Nobody wants to do that. Just drop it all, keep the hype up, get us excited for the next season, because there's going to be another season. Why the hell wouldn't they? They set up so much stuff.
Yeah.
There might even be a spin-off of a spin-off. We'll see.
Oh, I'm sure by the end of this show, I don't know how long they plan to go. I assume maybe 4 or 5 seasons. Who knows? But
who knows?
4 or 5 seasons in today's economy could easily be 10 years of waiting.
Right.
So if we learn anything about all the shows that have broken out from the streaming era, is like, I mean, take Stranger Things for example. I personally haven't watched that show or followed that show, but the fact that it resolved after like a decade or something, and it just had
Kids
5
are
seasons.
Way older now. They're adults.
Yeah. And
so
I mean, I don't want to go like on a rant or on a diatribe off topic, but I did want to bring this up. I did mention this before, as I think like something's fundamentally different with TV as we know it now, with the streaming era, than it was back in the old grammar of TV, when you had self-contained episodes every week that told you a story and gave you a full meal. And now you get these amazing high production value cinema level, movie level episodes. They're like basically mini movies, 1 hour episodes, and you get through the whole season and you still just get like a smidge of what you want. You know, you just get a taste of what you actually desire from the story. It's like a lot of empty calories, but they do a good job of making it an event. So everyone's tuned in, everyone's gonna watch it, and the hype's gonna be there. But in terms of like the mileage you're getting with the storytelling, they're not really pushing the lever as much as they can. And, you know, that's just, you know, maybe back in the cable era, there's incentives with ratings and slots to fill every week and to get, you know, shows to put out episodes and writers to write episodes that can pump out stories. What's happening is now there's like a lot of planning, there's a lot of A-list actors, there's a lot of like budget scheduling. So they really do take years sometimes to come out. But I'm glad that, you know, we did this like in 2024 and came out like towards the end of the last year. So not bad, not bad. I hope they keep it up.
I do too. And we have some returning characters. We have a Lucy, and with her character, sometimes I don't know if she changed at all. Like when they reintroduced her in this season, I was, you know, thinking, you know, she went through a lot in that first. She's not as trusting and all that, but kind of felt like status quo, like you missed a season or something. And this season, she will have to make a difficult choice. And does she choose the option we expect her to choose? You know, who knows? And then we got Cooper Howard, the Ghoul. Cooper has really been through the ringer this season. He's still on a
Played
quest
by Walton Goggins, MVP.
Yep. He's a great actor. In fact, more so this season, I feel like he could just have his own show because he's carrying the show on his back.
Oh, he's putting in a lot of effort carrying the show. And yeah, and even Aaron Boten, I think his name is, the guy who plays Maximus.
I still don't like him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, out of the three heroes, he's still the one I'm most cold on. I just feel
Right. I warmed up a little bit to him because, you know, kill a bunch of kids, but spoilers for Fallout Season 2.
They're doing well to make him like a noble character and everything,
Right.
guy with morals and really
Chaotic
cares
good.
about. Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm like, I like him a lot better than, you know, season 1, I guess. But I just feel like
I do too.
I just feel like I just wasn't as invested as some of the other storylines with the other characters.
Yeah,
but
and then we got Thaddeus, the guy who made himself a ghoul, and then you find out his ghoulification is not quite like a traditional ghoulification. His freaking arm falls off.
He's kind of like Frankenstein type of guy.
Yeah.
He's funny. I
do find him funny.
I actually think he's like one of the better new additions in the season, because he comes off as a really like shady, exploitative soda business owner who's like,
well, it's not even a soda, but caps are the currency in Fallout, and he's just having them open bottles and collecting the cap. He's it's not quite counterfeit, but he's just has a bunch of kids opening bottle caps off of sodas and telling them to drink them.
Yeah, and they're like, kids are like half ghouls, half kids, and they're like, they're working 24 hours a day, which is well,
there are no child labor laws in the Fallout universe.
In the wasteland,
lucky to be alive. Yep.
Yeah, I recognize the actor from 21 Jump Street, so it's funny.
Oh,
he's it's cool to see him pop up here, and I thought I didn't expect him to have that big of a role. I thought he'd just be a comedic relief, one scene
of him.
Yeah, but he had a good arc. And then you got obviously the other players like Hank, the father.
Yep, Lucy's our villain from last season. He's up to some inhumane shit this season. Time to find out if his daughter can stop him.
And don't forget about Norm, the brother, the son.
Yep, he broke out of his vault prison.
Yeah.
leading a bunch of buds. He's scrappy, but he'll soon find out what he has to do to survive the wasteland.
Yeah, and I think we got to mention probably the most important character,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the most, what do you call it, awaited character in the show, Robert House,
Yep.
played by Justin Theroux. Is that a spoiler? I don't think that's a spoiler. Oh, who cares? It's a spoiler. Maybe it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
don't
this is
know.
a spoiler discussion. Who gives a shit? They
Yeah,
knew what they're getting into.
sorry, but yeah. Like, was really looking forward to seeing this character because he popped up at the end of the first season, and I remember you
Mhm.
mentioning kind of what kind of significance he has in this universe. So,
Yeah, it was really interesting how they were gonna do him because if it was all gonna be flashbacks, because like I said in the video game, you kill him, he dies. And then we also have
why do they kill him though?
why did they kill him? Well, so because this show is canon along with the video game, so the video game has a canon ending, and in the canon ending, he dies. The courier, the playable character, kills him in the game.
Okay.
So there are multiple different like factions trying to control the strip, and he's one of the factions you can choose. There's also Caesar's Legion. There's also the NCR. There's even
The NCR. Did you pick
yep.
up? I was gonna bring this up. Like I mentioned it. Did you pick up the familiar White Lotus reference from the NCR?
Oh, was that Gary?
That was Gary Gregg.
Yeah. Yeah, the white guy. Yeah, now that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
say it. No, no.
Walton Goggins and
Yeah,
yeah, had a
and
nice
them
little
too. They
yeah.
mhm.
Had a
Yeah.
nice little White Lotus reunion. Dude, can you
Okay.
believe it's been a year since we covered that already? Time
That's kind of
flies.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really like that actor, John Grease. He's really good. I mean, he's character's got a pretty minor role, but it was nice
Mhm.
seeing him pop up. It's a pleasant surprise.
Yep, the North California Republic. They're
Yeah.
probably the least evil of all the factions. Well, other
Yes.
than the followers of the apocalypse, but we haven't met them yet in the show. They're basically
Oh,
just a bunch
yeah.
of doctors.
Right.
And then we have Stephanie Harper. She comes back. She's an overseer of Vault 32. We get some great character development with her, even though I don't really give a shit about the Vault stuff. But
Yeah, I agree. I have to agree with you there.
spoilers, she's Canadian. That was a great scene.
I love the moment where it was such a shock for them to find that out. And they're like, "Oh my god, she's Canadian?" Like, "Oh no." Like, it's like as if they discovered like the enemy.
Right.
Like, I don't think I've ever
It
seen
would have been better
Canadians.
if we would have found out she was a communist.
Or even a Nazi for all we know. I mean,
Well, I don't know
but
how like offended they'd be by Nazis in that universe because like some of the factions basically are Nazis.
that is true. That
Like
is
they have
true.
some like how the Brotherhood of Steel hate anything that isn't human.
Mm.
Like that
Yeah,
is definitely a Zionist for sure.
yeah. There's a lot of extremist groups in this show. Let's put it that
Hmm.
way. But you know, it's still a fun world.
Hmm.
Still has.
The best music.
I like the music. Yeah. I like the
Yeah.
music. I like the
Yeah.
retro futurist stuff. I
Yeah.
was a fan of that season one too.
Before I started playing Fallout games, this is a genre of music, especially in Vegas. I wouldn't imagine myself listening to like old timey folk music. I'm
Mm.
listening to an iron on his hip and Johnny Guitar. It's got my name in it. I have to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah. I must say that, but and it's like you're right. It's not easy to pull it off. I still remember that one moment in the first season where I think Lucy and Maximus kiss for the first time, and there's a song that plays in that scene from season one.
Hmm.
I really liked that moment.
Hmm.
It was a very funny scene, and what happens, but the way the way it transpires from like it goes from being like a funny to a sweet wholesome moment to a suddenly an extremely violent moment. And I think that
Mhm.
perfectly sums up like how the show can be from time to time. It just like
Mhm.
bounce off and become extremely like yeah, extremely gory and dark, and at moments it can be like really nice and fun.
Mhm. Yeah, it's got nice humor,
Yeah.
just like the first season. And then we have some new characters. We got Macaulay Culkin as, I'm going to butcher this. Sorry, I don't speak Latin. La Carta Leggett.
Yeah.
I
The
love his
Home Alone kid.
acting. Yep, the Home Alone kid. Yep, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
his acting. I love to see that he's working again. He does show up from time to time in movies, TV shows, and projects. He goes by Mac on all the stuff that I watch him. I've seen him a lot in Red Letter Media. They're a YouTube review show. He's just a solid dude. And him in the show was a nice surprise. There was also, I can't remember his name, but there was a stand-up comedian, a Pakistani guy, Camille Nanjiani. He plays
Oh
a
yeah, he
character
shows up
in,
as Xander Harkness
yep.
in one of the episodes. He has like a guest role.
Yeah, he's
I was
from
yeah, I was
the Commonwealth.
yeah, it was funny when he popped up. I was like, oh, didn't expect
Cam- Yep,
him to
Camille
be in this.
Nanjiani. He's a Marvel movie guy now.
He's the guy who got like who's known for being great comedy actor in all these
Yeah,
comedies. Because
I think he was funnier.
he was a kind of nerdy looking guy, and then he
Yeah,
got extremely jacked for Marvel's,
yep.
I think Eternals, which
Eternals, the
bombed.
movie I
Yeah,
fell asleep to. Yep.
which bombed, right? Because it was meant to be like a franchise of movies that will kick off,
Mm-hmm.
but it bombed, and he got super jacked. And ever since that happened, like it just kind of changed his, like he stopped from popping up in like a lot of the work he would usually do before.
Yeah.
And now like you're seeing he's not you don't see him as often. I don't know if it's like affected his career or the roles he has to take, but
Probably, but he always has
um
stand up to lean back
yeah, no,
on.
he's a funny guy for sure, but it's kind
Yeah.
of funny.
I like his comedy.
Yeah. But it is kind of funny how like, you know, he's got that comedic sensibility, but
Mhm.
he looks so jacked and ripped. He's
Yeah,
got a
his voice doesn't do, I like his, he has a, where he says his voice doesn't do sit-ups. Like his
yeah,
voice doesn't do push-ups. That's
yeah,
why he hasn't success, because he doesn't look like Brad Pitt or
yeah,
Jason Momoa.
yeah. It's funny, but it's a good cast. It's a good cast. I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
they got some good actors on even the first season that pop up. Folks like Zach Cherry, who's in
Yep.
Severance, Leslie Uggams, she's pretty good. She plays Betty, the overseer, and there's some other characters that pop up. Clancy Brown as a cameo as the president.
Hmm. And you
Francis
have
Turner returns.
the Hellboy guy. What the hell is his name?
Ron Perlman, yeah, he has
Ron
a
Perlman. Yeah, he comes back. Spoilers. Comes back as a super mutant, and it's funny because Ron Perlman is the guy that does introduction to Fallout New Vegas, and he also does Fallout 3. He does like the intro into the game, like, war changes. You hear that in his voice.
oh, is he the guy who did the voiceovers for the game?
Hmm. Hmm.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. They
Yeah.
gave him
So it was a
a
nice
role.
Easter egg for the gamer fans.
Right. So I guess what do you want to how do you want to navigate through the season? Like
Okay.
what do you want to talk
So I
about?
have a title for every episode, a little bit of synopsis, what happens, and so we have episode 1, The Innovator. What I wrote: a man supportive of Robert House implants a control chip in a guy at a bar, forcing him to kill his companions, which was a little confusing for me because the Robert House like supporter, he kind of looks like the Robert House that I thought was Robert House. So I was really confused. I was like, why don't any of these characters realize he's like the richest man in this universe? I was just like really confused. But then they, like later in the season, they kind of explain it. Like he was like like a stand-in for him because the real Robert House
Yeah,
is
yeah. He was
like
a
a
puppet. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he
The
was like
guy.
a yeah, like he's the ultimate bunker hiding guy. Like he's an ultimate conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
well in his right because, being the richest man, you're going to get killed or somebody's going to extort you for money or something crazy. Yeah, I
Well,
did think that
that and
was
also true power always lies in the shadows, right? So he's not the type of guy who
right.
wants
The
to attract,
shadowy government. Yep.
doesn't want to attract that sort of. I think he's
Which
smart in what he's done. Is like he's got someone
mhm.
to play him in the public eye,
And
or
he is the
completely unknown.
CEO of one of the four biggest companies in the universe, Roboco. They make all the robots.
Right, right. Yeah, he's a big yeah, he's a big innovator in the
Yeah,
world
and
and
in this
entrepreneur.
season he's trying to get the cold fusion in the before the bombs fell. That's what he was trying to do. So he could live forever. And there's an entire like plot line that goes with that. It's pretty interesting. You got, Cooper Howard coming in there too, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It's all connected. I think the first episode was pretty. Fairly picks up where it left off. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Lucy and the Ghoul are
Yep,
together.
wandering the wasteland, and it's not like they were in a location that is referenced in the video games. That gigantic dino. It's like a gas station that has like a dinosaur as its mascot, and that's where you meet one of the companions in Vegas. Which he's a sniper, which I thought that was a nice reference. And they're one of the factions, the cons. They're basically raiders. They are trying to like get some food from them because they're like and they're using the ghoul as bait because
Yeah,
he's almost invulnerable. He has a easier
almost.
time. He can regenerate.
Yeah, can he actually?
Yeah, he can. Yes, as long as he's not beheaded, they show it a little later in he if he's exposed to radiation, ghouls regenerate. The only downside is you slowly go feral.
Yeah, yeah. He needs to routinely take that serum that keeps him like keeps him from becoming a zombie. I guess. Do you know what it is? Some special type of chemical.
Yeah, it's
He
something
needs
they
to-
introduced in the show. It's nothing that was ever in the games. Basically, ghouls are people that survived the bombs falling and it mutated their DNA, so they're like their nose falls off. And in the games, they have blackened eyes, which I wish they would have kept, but it is what it is. It helps Walton Goggins emote more, makes you
Absolutely. Yeah.
still
No. Mm.
exactly. And then the second episode is the Golden Rule. And there's like a crazy timeline. It shows how Hank blew up Shady Sands with the implanted chip on
Yeah.
the guy that kept saying a reference to the video games where he goes, patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter. You hear that in the video games. So that was a cute reference. And he ends up blowing up Shady Sands and he's like carrying a cart. And then you see little Maximus and you get to meet his parents, which that was pretty gut wrenching to watch them because, that whole city, they're not doing anything wrong.
No, no, it's pretty horrific
Especially
scene.
knowing what's going to happen in the scene.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, and also how much it like affects Maximus's character because he's still. I guess that's why he has such, affinity for like he's been there. He's been that kid who was
Right.
saved
Doing the
by
right thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he was
That's,
saved by one of those TX armors, and
yeah.
I guess he wants to embody that and be there for all the other kids in the wasteland who've been,
Right.
through all their own shit. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it ties in well with that and also the values he has, but it does really portray how evil Hank is because I think the biggest like
Yeah.
plot, the twist in the first season finale was like
Hmm.
I think a lot of people like were frustrated that Ghoul let Hank leave,
Right.
but it was all part of his plan to like track him down and understand where he was going, which was New Vegas. So yeah, and then you see that the whole shit with the chips that he's trying to experiment on mice that is repeatedly failing until like he figures out, he tweaks around and he finds the right method to conduct it on a subject that doesn't have his or her head explode.
Right.
But it's basically giving you amnesia and turning you into mind control slave, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, that's what he's doing this season. He's trying to find out how to control everybody, which is
Yeah, yeah,
it's
pretty
fucked.
reprehensible. Yeah, yeah, he's good, man. Cal MacLachlan, I like him. I like him as an actor. I must say though, like I remember, even though in the first season they did the de-aging, the
Well, that did
CGI.
not look
It
good.
did it did not. I mean, in the first season, I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right
Mhm.
because it wasn't as much. But
Well,
the flashbacks are really hamming it in this season. Like, there's a
yeah,
lot of
cleared.
flashbacks after flashbacks, and it's
Just
got
looks
to the
like a
point
bad
where,
AI filter.
yeah, it really looked poor in my opinion, and it's so obvious because even if you just watch those flashbacks, they're like intentionally not giving him close-ups because they know it'll look really bad. I mean, it looks pretty noticeable just from the medium shots that you see with his character playing a younger version. But yeah, I guess like that does tie in with some of the flashbacks. I must say, like, I wasn't always a fan of the show when it had to go down the route of flashbacks after flashbacks. I think that the first season does that plenty with the
Right.
mystery of
Yeah.
what Cooper's wife's up to at the bombs and her role
Yeah, we
in
even get a retcon for that, which I'm happy they did, but they didn't have to do. The first season upset me because they made it so Vault-Tec was the one that set off the bombs. And in
yeah,
the retcon, they made it so it's the Enclave, which it's like, okay, it didn't really change much, but all right. And the
yeah,
Enclave is this secret shadow organization that they're controlling America before its fall.
yeah,
In their
yeah.
affection in the games, you get to meet them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery, and I guess one of the things about, I mean, it's expected now that TV shows that have a lot of plot threads, they tend to jump from one point to another point, which is fine. Like I get that because it's very common way of like episodes to break down, and you get like a few minutes of, you get to hang around with a bunch of characters, few minutes with them, few minutes with this character. But the show does this thing which I wasn't a big fan of because I found it really like, it's okay when it happens
Derailing.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really derailing with with the pacing of
It's because you
of
got
the structure.
so many storylines that are all going in different.
That's true. That's true. And that's understandable because end of the day, it's like you're trying to really pack in all of that in 8 hours.
Mhm.
But the problem is like it does this thing where it's building up to a very like suspenseful or climactic moment of a scene, say a flashback. I think there's one flashback with Cooper when he meets Robert House for the first time, and
Mhm.
Robert House knows that he's there to kill him, and then it just cuts away to something else. It cuts away to a
And you're like,
present
God
moment.
damn it! You killed all the
Yeah,
tension, you
it
fucking
it
assholes.
it does because when you return back to the scene, it's just not the same. It's not got the same energy. The scene is just,
Mhm.
it falls flat. So I found that really frustrating because like I found it like at times it would kind of make it hard for me to like be on track with like what's happening
Mhm.
with the characters because I want to be in that moment, but it's kind of pulling me out of it. So that's just, maybe I don't know if that's an editing choice or a
Mm.
script writing choice, but I just felt like
Yeah,
they could have probably done better with that, and not kept
I
relying
agree.
on chopping it up so often. Like it really disrupts the
The
pacing
flow.
and the
Yep.
flow. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, just make it one episode, all one thing. It,
That would
it
be ideal.
yeah, it sucks that they do that. Like the show is good. It's just like you said, it's one of the better adaptations, and it sucks that they have to run so many different storylines at the same time, and they're all in different places. I hope it doesn't get even worse when Cooper Howard goes to try to find his family, because he's going to be in a completely different state.
Yeah, yeah, and with Cooper, there's so much flashbacks. I'm sure they hired Goggins because they want him to play a layered character, not just some guy on wearing a ghoul mask with a
Cowboy
CGI
hat.
nose. Yeah, even though he's great at playing Western
Yeah.
characters, but I think that there's so much flashbacks. I actually wish the show had a bit less of flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. Like some of
Uh,
them are amazing, like the Demon in the Snow one, episode 4.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
that's
that
good.
one was fucking wild. Like before the bombs drop, you find out the
Yeah,
Enclave unleashed all the Death Claws to win the war in the in front.
that is a flashback. No, that's the
Yeah,
definition of a flashback. It's calling back to a
exactly.
particular moment. But what we get instead is not a flashback, but it's more like a flash. It's like a completely different story from the past that we have to keep going back to, because they're trying to, like, in sync this with what's happening um
Future.
in the
Yep,
future. And
in the current timeline.
yeah, yeah, and then the point is, like, you're trying to build two suspense stories at the same time, but by
Right.
the end of it, you're wondering, was it even worth all that waiting and suspending? Like,
Probably not. Yeah, like your A storyline and your B storyline are and then you
yeah.
got your C and your D because different characters have their own storylines.
Oh
Like you
yeah, I
got
mean,
what's
just
going
take
on with Bud's
Norm.
Buds.
Just take example Norm's storyline. I think it was completely undercooked.
Yep,
I
I
felt
agree.
like I felt bad for him because I think the actor's good. I think that there's also potentially a story to be told with his character, but I just feel it felt very, like, relegated a bit for me. Kind of
I
came off
did find it funny that they almost all get eaten by the first enemy
roaches.
you meet. Yep. Like a level 1 little rad roach, because some of the wastelanders are breeding rad roaches like in
Yeah,
the
yeah, but
basement.
it also, like, plays on this preconceptive notion wastelanders have, right, about wall dwellers, is like
Vaulties are
Wolties.
they're too
Wolties
good.
are,
Yep.
yeah, they're fucking naive, they wouldn't
Yeah,
last a
they are.
day.
They are. They are.
They have a completely romanticized opinion about what the surface world should be, or
Mhm.
what the values of, they think that their book smart education can translate well to living on to the surface, but the hard reality is much different than
Right.
what I mean. Look at Lucy's
Your
character, like,
your
she's
speech skill can only get you so far in the wasteland.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at Lucy's character, right? Like,
Mhm.
she goes from being a really, like, sweet, innocent, still is, not saying she's not, but
Right.
definitely over the course of,
She
like,
becomes
what she goes
a
through
drug
on the
addict.
wasteland.
She becomes a thief.
That was one of my favorite moments with her character, to see her,
Yeah, I
like,
like that a lot. She
mm,
like picks up a gun and kills a ghoul, and she's like,
yeah,
"Woo!" And she's like just gonked out of her mind from buff out, because
yeah.
in episode 3 she is captured and crucified by Caesar's Legion, which we find out they're fractured into two rival factions. Because so in the original game, Caesar dies of cancer, or Kaiser as they like to call it. He dies of cancer in video game. So, and he didn't leave a note who the new leader was going to be. It's called Caesar's Legion, and they're basically a bunch of raiders that speak in Latin. So, because they're cool like that. But they are probably one of the most evil faction in New Vegas. They are slavers. They're rapists. They are like the worst of the worst. But, just like the Nazis, they have cool clothes and they talk cool, but they're evil as fuck.
They're literally like Romans. They're dressed as
Yes.
Romans.
Yes. Because
So
they speak in Latin, they say Awe and
yeah.
call outsiders profligate.
Mm.
And that's where Macaulay Culkin shows up, and you're like, oh shit, he's back. He's got work. Hell yeah. But then you find out he's an evil piece of shit.
Yeah. You wouldn't take, like, oh, that Kevin from Home Alone's turned evil.
Right.
Like,
Like,
in this universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's pretty interesting. So the ghoul has to like find a way to save her because he knows that she's going to be one of the ways he's going to find his family.
Yeah, and the
He's going to
ghoul
use her as a
and
bargaining chip.
yeah, that's the ghoul's ultimate purpose as well, as he just wants to use Lucy to get to Hank, who can get
Which
him
we
answers
find
to
out
his
in
life
episode 5 that's
orders.
the real reason, the Wrangler.
Yeah.
And she kind of feels betrayed, and she uses one of the things she stole out of a store when she was gonked out of her mind to punch him out of a window and impale him.
Oh yeah, I thought like he was gonna. I was surprised. I was like, how's he not dead?
Now he's a ghoul.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He gets
They're a little bit
brutally,
sturdier than the rest of us.
brutally impaled. The Wrangler was episode 5. I think episode 4 was the demon in the snow.
Yep.
Uh, which was that crazy flashback.
Yeah, and then you see the Chinese, and they just leave him for dead because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because the Chinese didn't have to use power armor on that front, but the Americans did, and they find out how faulty that first round of power armor is. In
Yeah.
the first season, he even brings up that like there's like a gap in the armor that you can shoot.
True, true,
Like one,
true.
and then like his buddy is like is the guy he's serving with on the front. His armor like fucks up, and he calls the base and said, can we send him back? He can't walk. But of course, they tell him go march on, and he just tells him to go home because he's a good guy, at least
Yeah,
before the bombs fall.
he stays back, and then that Deathclaw,
Mhm.
crazy creature in the snow, the
Yeah,
demon in the
kills
snow.
all the Chinese, and then they say, "Oh, we won the war. We won this fight on the front," and he's like immobilized. He's just sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he's just sitting there, and,
and the Deathclaw like looks at him and doesn't see him as a threat, so he just walks away.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you can see how that still, it still
Haunts
has
him.
it still haunts him, yeah, it haunts the ghoul even
Yeah,
in this present.
especially in a episode where they see all the Deathclaws on the strip. Even the cocky, cool as cucumber Todd, not Todd Howard, Cooper Howard. Todd Howard is the guy who is the head of Bethesda that makes the game, but he is like wide eyed and like scared of how many Deathclaws, because one Deathclaw that's manageable, but when you see like a whole, like
Oh,
he
yeah. They're like these crazy.
shits a brick.
They reminded me of this Greek, a creature from Greek mythology called Minotaur.
Okay, like a Minotaur.
They're kinda like half a human, half bull. They got a head of a bull,
Yeah,
and
they
they're like,
are the FEV, the forced evolutionary virus. They are one of the experiments that is a virus that can mutate your DNA, and they'll fuse a bunch of DNAs together and you'll get something like that. Like that's
damn.
how super mutants are born. And that's how like anything that doesn't, it looks kind of human and not really human. That's how ghouls are made. It's just like the DNA mutates in such a way.
So, is the Deathclaw an NPC in the game, or it's like a
Yes, it's an enemy. In fact, in the original Vegas game, there's a place called Quarry Junction, and that's in the game. It's the straightest shot to the strip. So in the game, you get left for dead, and you're trying to find out who killed you, and the guy who killed you is somewhere in the strip. So you're on a mission and you look at the map, and you straight up here, and you see Quarry Junction, and you start seeing a couple death claws, and you're like, oh, I should not be fighting these guys. I'm like, and then they just kill you because you're
Mm,
obviously not ready to fight them.
yeah.
But if you go the long way, all trip, you meet a bunch of different factions, you see a bunch of different settlements. You get not an 8-minute game. You get the full 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the east side, there's Cazadors, and they're like these gigantic flying insects that poison you to death, which I'm surprised they didn't show up in this season because they are Satan incarnate.
Oh, is it? So they're like satanic cult.
They're not satanic. They're bugs. They're just poisonous bugs. They're like the rad scorpions that we saw this season, but
Yeah.
they're flyers, and they're hard
Okay.
as fuck to hit. And
Oh,
a
dude,
couple of them,
those scorpions are fucking gnarly, man. That was
yeah, the
disgusting.
CGI looked really good on them. That's just gross as fuck.
Ghoul got attacked.
Yeah,
Um,
he got fucked up, and then
it's been through some shit for 200 years.
Lucy had one stem pack left, and he's calling for the stem pack, like, please help me. And she decides to help the. She didn't know it, but it's
Legion.
Caesar's Legion slave that she saves and
Gets
brings.
her, she gets her head chopped the moment she walks in.
Yep, the second she comes in,
Slashed.
yep, just
Yeah.
cut off and then put on a pike.
Yep.
Yeah, then you find out real quick that Caesar's Legion doesn't stick around.
Oh yeah, it's no place you want to be around, and
No, it's the worst place you want to be.
I think it's interesting how they navigate around that, and how what the ghoul has to do to like. He's a man who has to make. He's not. He's had to make some difficult choices and use people who've been good to him for his gain.
Mhm.
And it's easy for him to be like, you wanna when you look at the ghoul story, you wanna like root for him because end of the day, like you see the trauma and all the stuff he's been through. And I think that really comes out in episode 5, The Wrangler, because it really ties into the backstory he has of you know Moldaver telling him to go kill Robert House, stop the war from happening, for these bombs dropping, and then the moral dilemma he has of like, his wife is deeply entwined with whatever the plans are with the bombs,
Mhm.
and he sees that she's doing that to protect the family, but it's coming at the cost of millions of people who are going to die, millions of you know kids like the same age as his daughter. So it really puts
Right.
him in a big predicament. But I think the show does well to like make the ghoul anti-hero. He's I don't know, how do you see him? Do you see him as a
Yeah,
protagonist
yeah.
in
Well, in Before the Bombs Fall, he's like chaotic good.
Mm,
But yeah, he does really. He's got one thing in mind. He has an objective, and he'll do anything to get it. And sometimes he'll get a little bit. He'll do something good, which you're like,
yeah,
whoa, he still has that in him.
yeah.
Like when he didn't sell out NCR when you
Yeah,
thought he did to
yeah,
save
yeah, yeah,
her.
I thought that too, man. I was like, shit,
Mhm.
what kind of a guy this
Right,
guy?
like,
Like
I knew he
he's a
was,
D-bag,
he's evil, but I didn't know he was that evil.
Yeah, yeah, because like they literally like they literally helped him earlier, gave him an extra supply of his
Mhm.
serums, and with Lucy and everything, helped Lucy. And then yeah, you're under the impression that fuck, like he's not gonna blink twice before using that to like get get whatever he needs. And in this case, he needs Lucy back to get to his family.
He's his bargaining chip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I like the twist of how like he basically starts a civil war between the two
Mhm.
the two fractured
Yeah,
factions.
he sets off a bunch of explosives that make them just start shooting each other, and he's like, "I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know if
Yeah,
it was the right call."
for sure. And I think that episode in episode 5, I think when he was like impaled, when he falls off, and when Lucy kicks him or punches him, and he
Yep,
falls,
punches
and he
him
and he
with
and he
a
can't.
fisto.
Yeah, yeah, and he can't get out, and he needs his serums because he's gonna
Yep.
turn feral. I thought it was a pretty heartbreaking scene. Like it was really
Mhm.
tragic seeing him like forcefully. He's trying to remember his wife and his name and his daughter's name
Mhm.
until he gets, of course, like rescued by that mutant. But I thought, yeah, I thought that episode 5 really hit home for me when it came to Goggins' character. I think it was one of his best
Mhm.
storyline episodes this season because it balanced everything from the dilemma he went through in the flashback, and how that translates to the current tragedy of like his reality as a ghoul, and the sacrifices he has to make to get to his family or find out what happened to them.
Yeah, and if he ever does, they're not going to recognize him.
That's the sad part, right? I mean,
Yep.
it's like there's so much. It's so sad because it's like 200 years clinging on to
Right.
the
Right.
hope of seeing your loved ones, and that of course changes you, and then what he's gone through as a character from who he was. It's interesting because he's a unique character. He's literally a war veteran, right? He served the country. He became a Hollywood star. He became the face of Waltech, and then he realized what actually was going to happen, and then he had to become unwittingly kind of a spy, f-
Right.
uh, and get involved with the underhanded side of things between House and what's happening with the bombs and his wife, and then turning into losing his family, turning into a ghoul. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to like
Mm.
go through for it. I don't think any other characters in the show are that layered as the ghoul, and I think it just shows like they definitely they casted the right actor to play the part, and all the emphasis that's gone in, you know, it's not a role that just requires you to play a cowboy, a mutated cowboy. It's
Right.
also got its own other.
Got depth.
There's a lot of meat in this role, which
Hmm.
is rightly savored and delivered by the actor. You know, so I think that's one of the best things about the show, because
Hmm.
you told me that the ghoul isn't really a specific character in the game. It's just a bunch of characters who are
Nope.
ghouls. They're just
Nope.
zombies.
It's just a bunch
Um,
of feral things, and then sometimes they have their sanity and they can talk to
so
you.
I think this is one of the
They're
best things
NPCs.
about
Yeah.
this is one of the best things about the show, because I
Mhm.
think it will undoubtedly. I think I already read that they did a mod and they added the ghoul as a character in one of the games.
Yep. Yeah, they did
Uh,
in Fallout 76. Not
76.
the ghoul, but you can play as a ghoul.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool that they did
Yeah.
that, because that's what the show does. I think there's going to be things that by the end of the show will become really fan favorite, and
Hmm.
cult will achieve
Yep.
like a cult like status, and that will translate into future things that the game or the show does. And that's the good thing about the show, which you're trying to make a game into a show and translate everything faithfully, but the best things about it is there's new things that come out that, take its own meaning. And this is
Mhm.
one of it, because I think I must say, because the other storyline in the show is there's a lot to do with Walt 31 and 33, but I wasn't that into the stories with
It's
the
just
Walt
like
brothers.
last season where the vault stuff we
Just
don't really care about. Like the only thing I like about the vault stuff is when they find out Stephanie's Canadian. I think that's
yeah.
funny as hell. I thought that whole wedding was awesome. Like it was like the most so in a wedding you'll get I
Yeah,
object, right? And he
poor
says,
Shep.
"No, I'm not doing this." And then he says, "She's Canadian." And then he shows them their ID as proof because
But
his
that
other thing
builds up to it, though. It builds up to it
exactly.
because he's almost like, without having a say, become a surrogate
Nanny. Yeah,
husband, nanny
right.
to the kid and to her, and she's an overseer in Wall 31. And there's like a great strike of rations of water, and there's like stuff going on in there. It's just kind of funny because it shows you how irrelevant whatever it is they're fighting for, because you look at the storylines happening on the wasteland
Surface. Yeah.
and the surface. That's just got a lot. The stakes are a lot more higher there than
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, you got a
It's a wall.
ongoing civil war with the factions of the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah,
You have, which will probably ultimately end up in just a world war. You
yeah.
have the Caesar's Legion, and you have the NCR. Whatever mutant faction, and they're probably all. It's going to be that big Marvel fight. We're going to get them all against the Enclave, the boogeyman of the series.
Probably. It's funny you brought up Marvel fight, because I thought that scene in the last episode where Maximus picks up a what do you call it? He
A
picks up a
shield and a
casino.
poke you. Yeah, like
He
a
picks up
roulette table.
a roulette table and a pool
Yeah.
cue, a pool, yeah, the stick.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
was like, this is very Marvel-esque, like trying to show he's Captain America or something. More
Well,
than the
against a
armor.
Deathclaw, you're fucked.
I'm more than the armor, and how cheesy it was. Like the
Right.
NCR show up to save the day, and it's like all
Yep.
Marvel-like.
And the
But
NCR, they wear the same gear that they is on the cover of the video game, and they even do the intro bullet shot from the sniper rifle. That's the
mm,
same intro in the trailer of the video game. So I thought that was a nice cute nod. And NCR saves the day. They start just killing all the freaking Deathclaws that are all over the strip because
yeah,
all the people they're hiding in Wayside, like the
yeah,
place where you'd trade.
true, true. I must say though, I was kind of underwhelmed with because I knew, even though I didn't play the games, I knew that this season was going to be set in New Vegas. I just expected more from New Vegas. I thought there would be more. I feel like it wasn't really explored as much as I'd like it
Okay.
to be. I don't know if you
Yeah, New
felt the
Vegas
same.
isn't really that big. That's the thing.
Okay.
It's like four areas. Like I did like how they modeled set for Mr. House's like room because it's the same how it is in the video game. I did like that a lot. I think with having all the people that lived before the show started, like the Kings weren't ghouls in the video game. They were a bunch of like Elvis impersonators, and they were all talking goofy, like they're from the 50s. And there's a couple other factions that are there. Like there's a bunch of people that eat people. They're called the White Glove Society, and you have like a line where you're supposed to serve somebody to cannibals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then yeah, there's a whole Securitron faction got destroyed by Deathclaws.
Yeah.
That's what that Yes Man was. He's like, oh, I remember him from the video game,
All
like the
right.
cowboy robot. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. It's a nice reference. In the sixth episode, you find out that the Enclave is actually the one that set off the bombs. That's that retcon that I liked. It makes a little bit more sense because Vault-Tec blowing up everything makes absolutely no sense. She got like talked into doing it. Otherwise, she'd be killed by a cameo from a guy, the doctor, the scientist guy from the first season that
Yeah.
puts
He
the
shows up.
fusion in his neck. Yeah, he shows
Yeah.
up. Now, he is also an actor in Saw.
Yes. Yes. I think
Yep,
I
is that
remember.
I think I even remember us talking about that in our first episode.
Yeah. 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 I
Because I have
remember.
an eye for Saw characters. If you're in a Saw movie, I'll.
You remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
He has
I
a
think we
cameo.
should take a little bit because I did play New Vegas. I go a little bit. I talked a little bit about it. I have over 33 hours in that game. It's a little janky when you open it up, just like any other Bethesda game. Like there are just a few mods, and you can break out all the bugs. You won't have guys flying in the air that shouldn't be flying, and eyeballs that are outside of people's heads that shouldn't be. It's everything you expect at a great RPG. It was made by Obsidian. The expansions of the game, there's one that takes place in the Great MT, the big MT. It's like a big mountain. It's like a crater. A nice sardonic adventure filled with a bunch of troglodytes and evil robots. And you got another one that I follow a guy in Colorado. He's like a burn victim, and he's trying to like have two factions fight, and they're basically like savages that are like Native American type factions. And then you got another one where it's a guy that's setting off nukes, and you have to like follow like every place he's been and like learn his story. And then you have one that's the most frustrating DLC I've ever played in a video game, where you have to fight a bunch of, it's like a horror game basically. You have to fight a bunch of unkillable like ghost monsters, but you have like limited ammo, and all your when you enter that area. And then you find out a ghoul, not a ghoul, a super mutant who's named Dog, but he gets intelligence and becomes God. That's his name just flips around. and then there's a mute who has a bomb collar. You all bomb collars around, and that thing's crazy. It's you go into it's like a heist. Like it's the heist DLC. You're supposed to like go into this vault with a bunch of like gold bars and like steal it from this guy. And there's like a lot of there's great RPG mechanics where there's all these factions just like there are on this TV show, and you'll have like vilified with them powder gangers, or a bunch of escaped convicts, or Good Springs. I think they show that in the show. I couldn't really quite remember because it's so much random stuff going on. And they have like a bunch of like great like factions, and there's multiple different endings. Which the canon ending is Free Wasteland, which you don't side with any of the factions. So honestly, probably the NCR would probably be the safest. They're corrupt, but they're not. So they're trying to bring order. Like they have their own currency. The Caesar's Legion, you do that because you're an edgelord. They're just going to enslave everybody. And Brotherhood of Steel, they're kind of like racist. So I don't know if I necessarily like them, but they have all of the technology. So maybe you go with them.
So you get to pick your poison, basically.
Yeah, you do. There's even one where Chikiratron's take. Like, okay, that can't be any worse than any of the other ones.
Yeah, that's good to know.
I think there's like eight endings, and the canon ending is the one that is the cleanest. You kill House, Caesar dies of cancer. He's gonna die anyway, so even if you do kill him, it's like, ooh, didn't matter.
Yeah, it's funny how he's already dead in the show, and the note that Home Alone kid finds is the last
Caesar lives on.
There's no one else.
Caesar dies with me. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think he eats it up or something, and he wears the laurels, and he becomes the
new Caesar. I thought that was cute.
Kaiser, the new Kaiser.
Yep, because they pronounce it the German way, not the Latin way, which is kind of funny because they pronounce everything else the Latin way.
Yeah, which Lucy also points out, but they're too in their own heads to figure that out.
Yeah, they're savages.
Oh yeah,
They like to speak in Latin. That's like the only cool thing about them. And until you find out they enslave people and rape people and put people on crosses they don't like and leave them to die.
Yeah, the terrible people you don't want to be associating with.
No,
not
at all. You got the Vault Tech facility. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you mean the facility that Hank is in?
Yeah, that Hank's like doing all his experiments in. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It was. I was wondering, because like with his character, I was curious to see. I didn't think he would be set up as the main villain.
Right.
I thought he would just be like a messenger.
He is just a messenger.
Yeah, which you
just a
eventually
tool
do.
of the Enclave.
Yeah. Which how creepy is that? And you also find out that he's actually married to Steph, who's 200 years old. So that means what? Lucy and Norm are kids of Steph. Is that what it means?
No. Well, he had a wife. He had a wife as the overseer.
Oh, right.
So because she got killed and she was she was a ghoul.
Right. Oh, yes. I remember. The ending.
So you got so many different things going on. It's hard.
He was at the table the whole time, and it was only at the end when she gets killed that Lucy realizes that's her mother.
Right.
The ghoul. It was a pretty tragic. You're right. See, that completely flew over my head now. There's so much. There's so much.
Long ago.
Yeah. And even with Lucy's character, I mean, I did mention when we did the first season, like she's the character the audience can relate to the most because
audience surrogate.
Exactly, or the audience surrogate, because we're learning what's happening through her eyes and her experiences.
It makes sense because in most of the games you are a vault dweller and you are discovering everything for the first time.
Yeah,
and in that episode, the handoff, episode 7, she appears to support Hank because she gets kidnapped by the ghoul, and he she kicks him out the window, but she's still under a sedative. So Hank comes see her and brings her back to his Voltec facility. And she's like,
I
I'm
found
going to
it
bring you to
funny how he
justice.
was. I found it funny how he was like playing along with.
Yeah, I
Uh,
did find that interesting. I can't believe he would, because his
yes,
character, he's still a dad, I guess, at the end of the day. And you find out that
and
all of the control chips.
to a point, you kind of like fall for it because once you see the demonstration of like all these workers, they're basically turned into mind control robots in a way, but
Yeah, yep.
they're a lot more civilized with each other
Mhm.
than their ulterior wasteland
Right. NCR and
personalities,
the Caesar's Legion working side by side.
which is unfathomable, right? Because
Right, because
they
they're
just
arch
kill each
enemies and
other.
they'd kill each other. Yeah,
They kill each
exactly.
other, but here they're like buddies at workplace, and they're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
civil. And literally, the two they capture, right? Like the NCR, the Gary Gregg from
Yep,
the
Gary
White
Craig.
Lotus, and the other guy who's a
Mhm.
Legion member, I think. Yeah, Lucy sees firsthand that this technology, as much as it's unethical and wrong, is still capable of
Doing something good.
something
And
good. Yeah,
it's all run by a preserved head of Congressman Diane Welch. She's a comedic actor, the lady that plays the senator. I've seen her in other stuff. I think
yeah.
she's funny.
I was really curious to know more about that. If
Mhm.
you could tell me, like, I didn't quite understand that
So
whole bit about her head.
what I think it was so her head is preserved. That's pretty normal for Fallout. You see brains and jars and all that all the time. And I think they were getting her like personality. She was sending her personality into the people that are being so that they're more docile. So
But why
without
her?
it, they are more robotic.
But why choose her specifically? And also,
I guess for her personality.
wasn't she part of the, like?
She was
Isn't
a part of the
she
US government
government,
in
right? Because
before the bombs fell. But then you find out when Cooper Howard gives the cold fusion to the president, you
yeah,
see her in that car, which leads me to believe that they are a part of the Enclave,
Enclave,
which is
yeah.
why she got her head chopped off and put in a jar, because she was part of the
Mm.
Enclave, doing it for the greater good of the Enclave.
That makes sense. So here's a situation where you truly don't know who's even worse. Waltech
Right.
for trying to profit off the idea of Armageddon, or Robert House because he wants to, like, do his own shit, or
Right.
like
He wants
here.
to keep Vegas alive and fuck
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else.
yeah. And then you got like this mysterious high ranked shadow organization and higher government
Mhm.
that are actually pulling the strings. So
Right.
Cooper's just, it doesn't
Which
matter. Cooper's just a pawn in the game. Like he's just,
it did, the little robot mind control thing reminded me of synthetic humans in Fallout 4. There's a secret society that making synthetic humans. Like they're completely cybernetic. Like they're not real people, but they've developed technology in such a way that it gains sentience. Like it passes the Bechdel test, which is the test where you find out whether or not you have a conscience and you can think for yourself. And in that game, you don't know who a synth is. There's an entire conspiracy theory of who a synth is, synthetic human who's not real, and they're like controlling like all like the governments and all like factions that all have a synth in them. And the entire storyline for that game is you find out your son gets kidnapped and your entire mission is to find your son. You find out your son is now an adult and he's running this organization, so you have to like do the big, do I kill this entire society of people that are trying to control everybody, or forgive my son for piece of shit he's become.
Mm. Yeah, it's a
And just in that episode, you find out in the 8th episode, you find out that they miniaturized the control chip, so it could just be a scar
that
which
tiny.
goes inside your skin.
Yeah, because in the show, it's pretty obvious. It's pierced the back of your neck.
Right. It's a little robotic module.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And then that
But
8th episode, Macaulay Culkin becomes Caesar in the funniest way. He just says, "Nope." He, like you said, he swallows the note, puts on the laurels. He's Caesar.
yeah,
Because he's Caesar, it ends with, yep.
it's a pretty fitting. It's a pretty fitting transition to power for that character because he is a scheming Machiavellian type.
I'm fine with it. I like Macaulay Culkin. I want to see him in more seasons of Fallout.
Yeah, no. I think it'll be interesting to see where they go with his character and
Yep. And
all
Camille
that.
Nanjiani isn't coming back because Maximus obliterated his head because he's going to kill a bunch of ghoul children.
Yeah, I must say, like the Brotherhood story, I was not as invested in. I know they built it up in the first 2-3 episodes with the whole plan for a civil war amongst the Commonwealth.
Yep, all the factions of the Brotherhood of Steel.
I just think that I'm glad that look, it was to me it was like pretty obvious Maximus couldn't be
He's going
part
to
of
do
that.
something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just not going to be able to play double agent and be there. Like I think it would be pretty boring and dragged out just to see him like playing like he's part of the Brotherhood to the end. I'm glad like he broke out and went his own
And
way
he
because
ran off with the MacGuffin, the cold fusion, and
Cold Fusion, yeah.
they got to go rescue the princess. They got to go rescue Lucy. So the ghoul and him and Thaddeus, they got to go to the bunker, and Thaddeus and Maximus, they're going to fight all the Death Claws while Cooper Howard's digging around in there trying to find his family. And he says, "Yeah, oh no, I'm not doing this. You give me that cold fusion, right?" And then he gives them some NCR power armor in exchange because you're going to need weapons.
Yeah. But I was surprised that he was willing to part with it just for some armor.
All right. Well, I think he realized that he doesn't have a choice.
Probably, but in the yeah, I don't know. I guess Maximus's purpose is to be a real
to be a sword. That's
war
exactly what he
hero.
is. Yep.
Yeah. Or else I feel like Lucy's more on the moral lines of doing good and justice. What did you think of Lucy's arc though this season?
I liked it, but I did find it a little annoying that she's still naive. Like, I especially liked when she's a drug addict. I thought, like you said, that was like one of the best scenes. Just going woo and just killing things left and right. Because in the games, you're a murderer for the most part. Anything that comes at you, attacks you, you got to kill it. And it's exactly how you play the games. Because a death claw or a ghoul is just going to kill you.
Yeah. I thought like, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, here's the thing, right? The whole show, from the get go where it's leading to. For the ghoul, it's like what happened to his family. For Lucy, it's the father and what he's up to. And for Maximus, I mean, it's everything he has to do to get out of the Brotherhood and everything. But you reach to the end of the season. Do you really feel like you gained a lot of mileage on 8 hours of what episode, like what story? Like it's like let's take the references aside. Let's keep all the gaming references aside because that's all cool and that's all nice to see that
Right.
being part of the world. Yeah, that's good. That's candy. That's gold. It's nice to see that there's so much like rich detail. But I'm talking about like, I want to see progress in the story. Like all the flashbacks are cool. All the plot twists are cool. No doubt. Like what happened to
It just
Cooper.
feels like padding.
Yeah. So, but the end of it is like, do you really feel like you got? Because I remember like the first.
No, you got your princess is another castle. The ghoul finds his family's cards empty. Pointing to Colorado.
Yeah. So
and Maximus and Lucy reunite.
Yeah. So you get what I mean about like what the opening statement I made about, and this is something not to advertise myself here, but I wrote this on my Substack. I wrote an article about TV of what happened, and this is what I mean. Is like you get through you're almost engrossed in the season of these shows. And this is not a criticism on Fallout because I think the show is great, but I just wanted to point out is like what's happening is the old grammar of TV, which was to deliver storytelling and real progress and movement in the plot threads, has been replaced by like empty calories and incremental incremental movement, which is filled with slower pacing, more suspense, more filler, more like more texture in terms of like world building and all the cool stuff. But you're not really figuring out anything more or new. You're getting the bare minimum to be hooked onto it. And it's like a show that is about, say, back in the day, a show about like a crime procedural. Every week would be the mystery of the week and the detective solving the case. But you'd see all the shit that he has to go through and he solves the case at the end of the day, right? There's nothing, they might be mystery, but he still solves the case. But in the new era, it's like, oh, first he needs to get over his trauma. Then he learns he can be a detective. Then he
Right.
picks up his detective magnifying glasses and goes around. And then by the end, like that's like 5, 6 seasons in till you really get to the crux of the story, to the crux of like what, you're actually wanting to get at. So what's to say that the next season won't just be the same? Like, the Ghoul's gonna be looking in Colorado. I mean, okay, his family are not in the cryopods. How do you even know they survived that long?
Right.
How do you know they're still
They
alive?
might be dead by now. Exactly.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
might be
yeah. And
skeletons.
he might be still figuring out. He might still like go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plot.
Or when they left the cryopods, was it
You don't. Yeah,
recently?
yeah, exactly,
Exactly. You have
exactly.
no idea.
No idea. And then the next thing you know, there's going to be more flashbacks with more twists, which
Exactly.
will extend the thing. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not against the idea of this because this is part of what makes a show or any story engaging is you want to be involved and you want to figure out, or else why would you watch it?
Right.
But I also believe that an audience should be rewarded for their patience and their interest. They shouldn't just be, you know, just because you subscribe to a streaming network and you're going to watch anyways, doesn't mean you just keep watching. The stories still need to deliver when it comes to resolution or giving you that, that moment of climax, that, that big moment in any story that tells you the key thing. It shouldn't be just, oh yeah, we get a bit more gravy here, a bit
Right.
suspense, and then
And then when you
another
get to the end of the
cliffhanger.
season, you're like, okay, it's over. There's not more. Like, so I was watching this with my girlfriend, and she even said that after it was over. She was
Did
like,
she?
"That's it." Yeah, she was like, "That's it."
Okay, I'm
I'm
glad.
like,
I'm
"Yeah,
glad. Okay, I'm glad I'm not
you're
the
not the
only one
only
then.
one. No,
Good, good, good,
you're
good,
not.
good.
You're
All right,
not
all
the
right.
only one."
Good, good, good. I just wanted to make that point before we
Yeah,
say
yeah.
anything
And then,
further.
so we did make some prediction. I made some predictions because, of course, I did. I have some of the transcript and a lot of. So I said that what are they going to use the canon ending? My prediction was Mr. House took control of the strip, which no, he didn't. The Enclave did. And then I was talking about like the different factions and how, it'd be really funny if Kings took control or something. Nope, they're ghouls. I was wrong. And then we'd see a bunch of Securitrons, which we didn't because the Death Claws killed most of them. I was wrong on that. One I was right on. We will see the giant dinosaur at the Novak Inn. We'll probably see a giant dinosaur. It's called the Novak Inn. It's a storyline where you meet the sniper. I was talking a little bit about that. They didn't bring he's either he's
So there's
dead
a there's
or
a
they
there's a
just won't
sniper
reference him.
character.
Yeah, his name's Boone. Caesar's Legion kills his wife on a vendetta vengeance to kill Caesar.
Oh,
And then
that sounds like it could be a really cool like
yeah, there's really good
story
writing
arc.
in the video game.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I
it.
said we'll probably see Good Springs. I don't remember if we did. We probably reference. We'll probably see the Hoover Dam. We didn't.
Yeah, I read something about the monuments not being explored in the. A lot of fans wanted to see all the monuments. I don't know
Yep.
how much of an
Well,
significance that has.
there's one monument of the CR shaking hands with somebody that didn't show up. I did talk about the Brotherhood with Steel will probably show up. I was right on. And then you asked me in terms of characters. I just want Maximus to die. He didn't die.
I don't
He
think
might lose a limb.
I think he might. I think he could die. I can see him out of
Right.
the three. Out of the three,
Well,
I could see
the Ghoul ain't dying. That's their bread and butter.
No, I think the Ghoul could die. I actually think the Ghoul
So they
could
do
die.
a prequel show with.
No, I think that it's entirely possible that if if they go down the route where I think, look, either his family's alive or they're not. Right? If that's the only other route, I think if they're not alive, he probably turns the
Goes
good
out
guy
guns,
and
guns
guns
of glory.
or does something where he
Right.
sacrifices himself to whatever save something, and
And then
maybe that can bookend his character.
I could see
But
that.
at the same time, Maximus could die too.
I would
He's a
still want him
war
to
hero.
die. Yeah, die in a blaze of glory. And then we were taking the piss and talking about Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty are going to show up in the show. I was bullshitting. Rick and Morty is now completely lame, I guess. I don't know. It's not as popular. Cool crossover. Rick teaming up with the Ghoul. Yeah, we
I think that's a bit
we were
too.
going crazy in our first episode.
I think that was a bit. Wait, this was actually in the
Yeah,
predictions.
I'm
for
reading the transcript.
Wow. Okay, man.
It's pretty funny.
I didn't
We've come a
recall
long
the
way.
recording.
We're not going to remember something 2 years ago.
But I do remember the dinosaur. I do remember you mentioning
Yep,
was it a T-Rex?
Yep,
Was it a T-Rex?
it's a T-Rex. Yep,
Okay.
dinosaur. It's the same
Alright.
thing. That's what I meant.
Mm,
Because in
well,
the Novak Inn, it's like toys.
I see.
It was before the bombs fell. It was a tourist trap.
Okay. I wanna talk a bit about Robert House real quick because
Sure.
it's unclear if he's like physically alive or if he's
No,
just like
he's not.
transferred. He's not physically alive. He's transferred his
No.
consciousness online, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
And
he is in the grid.
He's still in the grid, which obviously makes sense for his character because, he'd be, he knows that his purpose. He'd want to be immortal and have a say in
He
everything.
was before he died. He was basically on death's door. He was like a 150-year-old skeleton. He was like,
Yeah.
he stayed alive a lot and being cryogenically frozen, but only so much technology can do to keep your alive body cryopoded.
Yeah. So you mean to say in the games he wakes up and then he's killed?
Yep. Yeah. My favorite way to kill him was with the golf club.
So you could decide how you can kill him.
Yep. Yeah. There's a quest line where you kill him.
So
there's a MacGuffin in the game. It's the super mega ultra special chip. It's called the Millennium chip, and he needs that so he can control the strip. And you get killed, left for dead, and the guy steals a chip from you, and you're tracking him down.
All right.
And then you eventually do confront House. You're like, what the hell? Why did you send me on this? I guess there was many couriers that all got sent on other things because he was trying to like hide the MacGuffin, and they all died. And you're the only one survived.
Cold fusion, the diode. That's the thing that allows you to live forever.
It's like unlimited energy.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, and even destroying that could cause like planetary destruction.
Yeah, he was saying like multiple planets. Like it's so much like stored energy.
Yeah. I mean, I was curious to know because like when he does take the Ghoul to the pods and that's where he figures out that they're not there, his family, he gets that note about Colorado hinting that they might be there. What exactly was House trying to say to the Ghoul by telling him not to, that we still have business to attend to.
Well,
What
he
was he?
knows there's an oncoming war with the Enclave because he knows everything.
So
Because
what
he
did he
read the
want the
script.
Ghoul to do?
Probably join up with the super mutants.
Oh,
He wanted to establish power in the strip.
I
He
see.
wanted, yeah. House always wants something.
And the house always wins.
Yep. And was he the House? We'll never find out.
But there's I don't know if you picked this up. Maybe I don't know if it has much significance, but there's a scene where Lucy and Maximus are together in House's office, and
Yep.
then they're like staring out of the
Yep.
window.
Transmission, and then he flashes for a second.
He flashes for a second, right?
Yep.
Where it was consistently
I
saying no
think
signal.
they did that to show that he was still there, but they didn't want to have an entire dialogue where he explains it because it would
Yeah,
have been retreaded and kind of annoying.
yeah. No. I didn't expect him to say anything,
Yeah.
but the fact that
Yep.
he flashed for a second
Right.
means that he's still going to be around and he's still going to have
Mm-hmm.
some sort of a role to play for the
Yep.
rest. I mean, for the next
Yep.
season.
He can be the way you get doors open. He could be the key card.
It's funny how he's like
Yeah.
part of that risk. The wrist
Yeah. Pip
contraction.
Boy.
Hit Boy, is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
It's like it's like a supercomputer you wear on your.
Yeah, it's funny how he's
Yeah.
in
The
there
Ghoul
as
had
on
to
that.
wear one, and he was just repulsed by it because it reminds him about before the war.
Yeah, when he had to be the
Get
face
GPS directions from
of the
Mr. House.
Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and at the lib the Liberty Prime, the thing at the end. What do you think it is?
the Liberty Prime. What do you mean? You mean the
The
post credit scene?
schematics.
The
Yeah.
post credit scene
Yep.
with the Brotherhood. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't look. I obviously I just looked at it and I was like, oh, cool. Might be just another armor that
So
collect
Liberty Prime
for.
is a giant mech that was used for war in Fallout 3. And then there's another Mark, Liberty Mark Prime 2, which was used in Fallout 4. And I can only assume the Liberty Prime All Alpha or what it is just another one they're going to use in the war. So I assume they're going to use it in the Civil War that they're fighting with the other faction. It's just a gigantic robot. It says it's going to kill all the communists. It shoots laser beams from its eye. It's like a 20-foot tall robot. And there's like an entire storyline in the games where you get it up and fights the big war at the end.
I see. Well,
So that's where their CGI budget's going next season.
speaking of, I mean, I must say, like some scenes really, really look like they were like being Dune or something.
Yeah, they
But
don't. Some of the special effects don't look good. I guess death claws were practical. They're a little bit of mix of practical and CGI.
but I think but they were still more CGI.
Yes.
But
Yeah, they looked a little off.
I liked the production design though, like the
Yep.
way they
Yeah, no,
set
that
up
was
the
great.
strip, New Vegas strip, and the
I
bars and all the different places they go to, the costume design and all the practical stuff, which is on set
Yeah, it looks
on
great.
real
You
locations. But
remember how the armor was practical and it
yeah,
made
the
it
TV,
function? It
yeah,
still looks good.
still looks good.
Doesn't look like it's rubbery.
No,
I did watch an interview with Macaulay Culkin. He said when he was trying out for the part, he read the script he read it as Kaiser, and they're like, "Oh," the casting director was like, "Yep, he's our guy." 'Cause he played the games.
that's cool. And
Yeah.
they asked Goggins if he played the games, and he said he refuses to.
Which is probably good.
Yeah. He's like, I don't feel like I
He's
need
an old
to.
man. He doesn't need to be playing video.
I think he said something about not like it doesn't need to be influenced by the games, and like what he's trying to do with the
Yeah.
characters is his own thing. So I thought
Another
that was
another thing I wanted to ask you: what the heck is Phase 2?
Oh yeah, because that's the other part about the Walt storyline we didn't get into.
Yeah.
Because Steph, once everyone figures out and she gets
Yeah.
outed for being Canadian, and
She's
Yeah.
hiding in the overseer's office, and she tells the Enclave, initiate Phase 2. This
phase
is Hank
2.
McLean's wife.
Mm, yeah, and
So,
Hank McLean, what happens to him is he's a clone, right? Like he's
Yep.
cloned himself. It's not even cryo sleep. Like he's cloned himself, same version.
Right.
So what happens to him when he initiates the Enclave's like protocols?
Right.
Like he has an
Um,
implant. He has an implant, right? Because he
right.
activates that himself.
Mm.
I was just curious to know, like, what happened there? Because it's
Well,
almost like
so when he was with Lucy, he lost all memory. He's like, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what phase 2 is, but I'm gonna assume it has something to do with the forced evolutionary virus. And maybe they're gonna spread it in the vaults and make everybody monsters. Because why would Stephanie do that other than she has no other choice? Like she's, set in a place. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for that season 3. Like we'll find out what phase 2 means. And I'll be like, we got a lot of questions answered and some retcons, and now we got even more questions. And we still got questions like where the hell Cooper Howard's family is. Did they survive? I
and
don't know.
that's a
And
question we've been asking since episode 1, and we're only
right.
getting incremental
Yeah,
clues.
exactly.
And I expect that to be the same case even next
Yeah.
season. I mean, I won't be
I
surprised
I
if
yeah,
like
I
4
assume it will
seasons
be
down the
until
line.
the final season.
Yeah, that's where he's really gonna be able to like meet his daughter or
Right.
his wife, and we're
You're gonna
gonna know.
find
Oh,
out she's 20 years older and she's a part of one of the factions that's doing good in society.
yeah, yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It's possible.
You
So,
can only hope. That's like the best case. That or they're dead. And they didn't die a suffering death.
yeah, I think it would be pretty underwhelming if they just happen to be dead. But
Right. Like you could make it like one of the factions, and now Cooper Howard is on a revenge trip.
yeah, but that's the thing, right? Because he's an original character created for the show.
Right.
They can do. I mean, they don't need to worry
Whatever they
about
want. Yep.
lore. They can just
Nope.
write it as they go along, and I think that's
Mhm.
another. I think that's another effect of TV shows that are writing as they go along,
Right.
because they make things up as they go along, so it's open
And
to
piss
interpretation.
off certain people because it turns into canon. Because whatever the show is, it's canon. It got Bethesda's blessing.
Yeah, yeah, but even though the ghoul isn't, the
Yeah.
character isn't,
Because
but
whatever happens in this show is going to be canon in Fallout 5 whenever it comes out in 10 years.
I think that will be really interesting to see how that's
Yeah.
gonna impact the
And I have
game.
predictions before that game comes out. It is going to be a buggy mess. Everyone's going to either love it or hate it. And there'll be mods in the game that are going to fix it. Playing it safe, but yeah, that's just some pretty easy predictions to make.
I think it will be cool. I think it'll be cool. I hope
Yeah,
they
I'll play it. I'm a sucker for Bethesda games.
but any other characters you wanted to cover that you missed out on? You felt
There's
that
too many.
there's too many. Yeah,
It's way too many.
way too many.
Thaddeus is going to become a tree at some point because that's the
Yeah,
only
he's
other like FEV like that's probably what that was FE.
something's
It's
off
probably
with
what.
him.
Yeah, he's going to become a tree stump or something. He's going to be a talking tree. He's going to be like Harold from Fallout 2. He's got teeth growing out of his shoulder. Yeah, that's what's happening to him.
So, do you think the finale delivered for you?
No. It made me want more is what it did.
Okay.
I did get, somewhat of a Deathclaw fight. I liked that. There are a lot of like good things about this season, but I really felt like it did what the first season did. I don't think it improved it. I think it just did exactly the same.
Yeah, I could see that. But do you have any
Wrap
other
it up.
thoughts?
I don't. Do you?
Any crazy wild predictions or
Okay,
something?
wild predictions. All right. Well, I'm not going to go the Rick and Morty route. I'm going to say that there's going to be an all-out world war. World War III be all that you can be, and it's going to happen between the Enclave, Caesar's Legion, the NCR, the Fractured Brotherhood of Steel. They're all going to come together, and the super mutant faction, whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know. I'm really curious to know more about them because I think they were the most like
Yeah, we'll
piece.
find out more probably next season.
Like that was like the super mutant was who we barely got a smidge of what they're all
There's
about.
I don't
They saved the
remember
Ghoul and they released him back.
from the lore. There's a Vault 1 turned into the Acropolis, which is like a city you visit, and there's a bunch of people that live there. I don't exactly remember, but maybe that's where all the super mutants and all the ghouls, maybe that's where they
Yeah,
just spitballing. I didn't play 1 and 2, but I've watched a lot of lore videos because those are traditional turn-based, like a top-down CRPG games, and the really old ones are really hard to play just because the difficulty is ratcheted up into some like crazy levels. Like it's a hard game, and
I
it's
bet.
like an old like Windows 95 games. Like I can't do it. It's got to be 3D. If
Yeah,
it's a CRPG, it's got to be more polished, like Baldur's Gate or Baldur's Gate 3. Otherwise, I'm not touching them.
yeah. I can't wait to see how they make the next game
Yep.
with the TV show.
Yep.
With the impact of the TV show.
More Ron Perlman. I'll be happy to hear his voice again.
Yeah, yeah. You can bet on that. I want to add. I like the fact that they got the Snake Oil's salesman character back.
Yeah. They brought him back.
That guy was a cunning, conniving little prick in the first
And
season.
then they made him a robot.
Yeah. It was so funny they got him back. I really like.
Right.
See, that's
him all like his hair combed over looks so funny.
Yeah,
That actor did a good job. He's pretty funny.
that. Yeah, I think his name's Tom Daly or something, if I'm not
Good
mistaken.
guess.
But he's. I really see. That's the shit that I like about this show. That they like to like that. There's all these references which make it.
Yeah, he's a
richer.
chicken fucker.
Yeah, that's him.
Maria was like, "Is that the guy that fucked chickens?" And I was like, "Yes, it is."
Yeah, that's who he is. Wasn't he trying to like poison someone by selling them
something
like
crazy? He's doing some crazy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's they sold Thaddeus the concoction that
fucko, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep. Made him so he didn't die, but now he's probably just gonna rot.
You never know, man. He might show up.
Him talking to Ghoul stuff with the Ghoul was pretty funny. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's like normal like Ghoul stuff, right?" And he's like, "I don't. Whatever you got, you're not a Ghoul."
Yeah.
Especially his arm fell off.
Sorry, his name is John Daly, but yeah, that's
You
him.
got the last name right.
Snake oil salesman. That's who he is. But yeah, and also Steph's character. We'll see what happens. Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
she'll be turned into FEV.
But Reg gets killed, right?
Reg, who's Reg?
The guy, the Walt dweller who's doing the inbreeding program and gets his budget cut, and
I don't remember.
He picks a cake and he eats it, and he like rebels against the overseer.
I know Woody dies. I know he gets. I remember.
Is that his name?
I don't remember Reg. Woody was the one with the glasses.
Yeah, you're right. His name.
Yeah, he gets put into the garbage disposal, and the guy that's babysitting Steph's baby, he finds his glasses. Yep, Chet. Yep,
Chet,
yeah, the guy that was in charge of the door. He's a door guard.
The door guard. Yeah. That's what he wanted to be, but he's forced to be a babysitter.
Yep. Yeah, he was trying to get a reassignment, and she was like, "No."
Yeah.
She gets what she wants.
Yep. Well, should we go into ratings?
I'm ready. All right.
You want me to go first, or?
I'll go first. All right.
Okay.
Fallout Season 2 was great. Or maybe okay. We got a couple of questions answered. We got a couple of complete retcons. Thank you for making it so Vault-Tec didn't drop the bombs. I appreciated that. Now, does that bump my season review from last time? No, it doesn't, because I was pissed. I really want them to focus on 2, maybe 3 storylines for the next season. It's so freaking hard to like like pay attention to storylines with buds and whatever's going on in the vault. Nobody gives a shit unless they're all FEV virus monsters. Now that's interesting. The story I care about is outside the vault. Anything that happens outside the vault can be explored, and it actually affects the main storyline. With the introduction of the mutant faction, that makes me worry about season 3. Are we going to have like 6 different storylines going on at the same time, and only 8 episodes? We're not going to have enough time. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, it is a big concern that I have for the next season. I really think that there's a lot to juggle, and I wonder if 8 episodes, like, I don't know why we spoke about this, Andor being one example that broke away from that by sticking to 12. I really think 12 is the sweet spot for like these level of like cinematic TV storytelling. So I really hope they actually bump it up from 8 to 12 episodes, because I think that clearly in 8 episodes there's a lot to go through, and it's so like mishmashed and zigzagged all the way with the flow, the way it's edited, and the plot threads they have to keep jumping from one end to the other, that it kind of doesn't give you, it's not the experience is very disrupted at times, but that doesn't take away from obviously the great stuff with the show, with the world building, all the great references. It's nice to see all the characters. I still think, like we said, that's one of the best video game adaptations on screen. And it's great to see that there's a, strong fan following, and all the new factions and characters introduced this season. I don't think I don't think it supersedes the first season. I think they're, like you said, I think they're very much in similar. Maybe the first season was a bit more fun because you're still trying to figure out the world. And then the second season, you're kind of, it's nice for the gamers because they get to see all the references. But from the perspective of someone who didn't play the games, you're still like focused on the mystery and the answers. Cooper and his family, Lucy trying to get to her father, the justice, and Maximus being Maximus. But by the end of it, we don't really get much out of it from the season. It's a good experience, it's a good ride, but you realize it's like a roller coaster. You went from point A to B, you went in a circle, basically, but you're left with more questions for the next season. So yeah, I really hope like they ratchet up the stakes a bit more next season. Give us a bit more meat on the story beats. But that's more of a writing thing. It's got nothing to do with the performances or the production design or the excellent performances. I mean, sorry, the quality of the production. I too will give it a 7 out of 10. But I've tempered my expectations, but I'm still optimistic that the show will deliver long term. I just hope it doesn't go down the Stranger Things route where, it takes 10 years for 5 seasons
Well,
and you
thankfully,
realize
we
they're
don't have
all
to worry about the kids getting too old.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, they're just events. Each season is an event with empty calories and not enough story in the diet. So yeah, that's what I hope going forward. But temper my expectations, cautiously optimistic, but I'm tempering the expectations of what to expect with the show. But still enjoying it. Still a good ride.
Mhm. Yep. Looking at notes, I gave season 1 an 8 out of 10. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I gave season 1 8 out of 10 as well, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So
liked that first season more because it was new.
it was
It
new, but
kicks
it was also fun
Yeah,
because like the three
yeah,
characters they grouped up and they all,
yeah.
it's like that's
It's
like the fun of like a show where you're figuring out, oh, like, these three main characters have their own stuff, their own arcs, but they're together. But in this season, they weren't together completely. I mean, Lucy and Maximus don't meet
their own
until
doing their
the
own
end.
thing, and it's only
Yeah.
going to get worse.
Yeah, and exactly, the Ghoul now is gonna do his own thing because up till
Yeah,
now the Ghoul was with Lucy, but now the
right.
Ghoul's gonna go do his own thing. So,
Good
you know,
use
it
of it.
gets to a point where I'm sure they'll still connect, but you're losing that original
Just
dynamic
have a,
you had.
it's sad because he's like the main like backbone of the show. Like
I
his
do want to
acting is
say, I do want to say, I forgot to praise this in the final notes that his character arc and the amount of development he has this season was probably one of the best things about this season. The fact that I thought in season one we both loved the Ghoul and we both said, yeah, he's badass. But in this season, you get to actually see the depth of what he had to go through as Cooper and as the Ghoul. You know, the
Mhm.
tragedy and the mystery and all the, you know, he's basically had to sacrifice himself for his family. And I think that really lands, though. I must give the writers credit on that. So,
Mhm.
and Walton Goggins' performance is obviously carrying the show. But
Mhm.
yeah,
All right. Do you have anything else to say about Fallout Season 2?
nope, I think we covered it all.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to go stand outside and say in the dead of winter, patrolling the Mojave is almost wish for a nuclear winter. See you, Space Cowboy.